Good morning, I'm Vijaya from Vijaya Academics. Today we are going to learn about CBSE in detail. Evaluation of the board through ages, the pre-independence era. The pre-independence era, as a result of the Calcutta University Commission, 1917-19, popularly called the Sadler Commission, boards of secondary education had started coming up in various parts of the country. UP Board of High School and Intermediate Education. The first such board to be set up was looking after the interest of a large area, including Rajputana, Central India, and Gwalior. A stage had, however, come when that board did not find it possible to shoulder this extraterritorial responsibility any longer. The government of the United Provinces therefore represented to the government of India that the jurisdiction of the UP board was too unwieldy for it to maintain an efficient administration and that the candidate from areas outside the United Provinces should not be admitted to the board's examination beyond the year 1927-28. As a result of the representation, the government of India suggested two alternatives for the consideration of the administration of princely states in Rajputana, Central India, and Gwalior. One suggestion was to set up a joint board for all the areas concerned, and the other was to have a separate board for each of the areas thus affected. There are many advantages of the joint board, chief among them being the economy in expenditure, both on the administration and examination, and a comprehensive representation that would be available from all the areas concerned. It was, therefore, decided that a joint board for all the areas should be evolved. As such, the Board of High School and Intermediate Education, Rajputana, including Ajmer Mirwar, Central India, Gwalior, was established in 1929 by a resolution of the Government of India. The board, as constituted under that resolution, had its headquarters at Ajmer with the agent to the Governor Central in Rajputana and Chief Commissioner Ajmer Merwara, Lieutenant Colonel J.D. Ogilvy as the controlling authority and a total membership of 38, including representatives of the administered areas and states within its jurisdiction. The blueprint of the Majestic Cbse office, Ajmer. The formation of the board represented a bold experiment in interstate integration and cooperation in the important sphere of the secondary education. In his inaugural address at the first meeting of the board held at Ajmer on August 12, 1929, the then Chief Commissioner of Ajmer Mirwar and controlling authority of the board had aptly observed, "It is a particular pleasure to me to note that the formation of the board, apart from being a great step in the furtherance and advancement of education in Rajputana and Central India, constitutes, in addition, a happy instance of unanimous cooperation among the Indian states who have joined in our labors." Now, these are the interesting facts. First chairman of board is Mr. K.P. Uh, Kichlu. First secretary of the board is Rai Sahib Pandit Prem Ballav Joshi. And this was the telephone number 108 and telegraph address was Interboard. Building architecture, Carl Malt von Haynes architect, Delhi in 1927. The area was known as Bunch Emli Ajmer. Todermal mark. Nazul land rent rupees 900 per annum and land of area 5,551 square yard. This is the CBSE Ajmer building in all its grandeur. The establishment of the board led to the rapid growth and expansion of secondary education in the vast territories comprising the princely states in Rajputana, central India, Gwalior, Ajmer, and Mirwar. The board also did creditable work on improving the quality and the standard of education in the institutions recognized by it through periodical inspections carried out on its behalf by competent and experienced inspectors. To the same end, the board also established, on the initiative of then Chairman Dr. I.C. Chatterjee, under the management and control, a postgraduate training college for teachers in Ajmer in 1941. The college fulfilled a real need and resulted in a great improvement in the tone of education throughout the wide area served by the board. The college, which turned out hundreds of trained graduate teachers from 1941 to 1949, had to be closed down in 1950 as the number of students seeking admission to it began to dwindle, owing to the opening of several such colleges affiliated to the University of Agra. The board conducted for the first time high school examination and intermediate examination in arts and science in the year 1930. It had 70 high schools, 12 intermediate colleges at the beginning, but the number of recognized institutions increased rapidly from the year to year by 1940. The board had recognized 124 high schools and 20 colleges. By 1947, the number of recognized high schools rose to 201 and that of the colleges to 41. Similarly, the number of examinees, which was 3,091 in 1930, rose to 6,412 in 1940 and 13,770 in 1947. In 1947, with setting up the University of Rajasthan, the examination of the schools in the state of Rajputana went over to it. In 1950-51, Madhya Bharat formed its board, leading to a consequent shrinkage in its membership. Thus, the jurisdiction of the board was confined to the states of Ajmer, Bhopal, and Vindhya Pradesh only. The name of the board was also changed to the Board of High School and Intermediate Education, Ajmer, Bhopal, and Vindhya Pradesh. In 1951-52, the board was given its present name, the Central Board of Secondary Education, by the Government of India, and the Constitution of the board was amended to extend its jurisdiction to Part C states and Part D territories. In 1953, the Constitution of the board was further amended to include some other areas besides the Part C and Part D territories. History in making the foundation stone of Cbse Ajmer was laid by Shri C.D. Deshmukh, the first Indian to be appointed as the Governor of the Reserve Bank of India in 1943 by the British Raj authorities. He subsequently served as the Finance Minister in the Union Cabinet. The year 1954, the board celebrates 25 years under the aegis of Dr. Zakir Hussain. See, these are the pictures. With a view to enabling the board to play a useful role in the field of secondary education to make its services available to various educational institutions in the country and to meet the educational needs of the students who had to move from state to state. The board was reconstituted on 1st July 1962 under erstwhile Delhi Board of Higher Secondary Education was merged with the Central Board, and all the educational institutions recognized by the Delhi Board were deemed as institutions recognized by the Central Board. Subsequently, the Union Territories of Chandigarh, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Arunachal Pradesh, and Sikkim also joined the board. Although the Central Board of Secondary Education was constituted as the autonomous body, according to the constitution of the board, its supreme control was vested in the Government of India and the controlling authority. The secretary, previously called Education Advisor, Ministry of Education, renamed After, as the Ministry of Human Resource and Development, Government of India was given the right to address and communicate to the board views on any matter. The board was also entrusted with the responsibility of advising the administrations of union territories as the course of instruction and syllabi of middle school education to secure coordination among the middle, secondary, and higher secondary schools. It was at this stage the board was assigned an important function of instituting an all India higher secondary examination, which would serve the double purpose of setting up a model that the various state boards of the secondary education might emulate and also meeting the special needs of students whose parents were not permanent residents of any particular state and thus had to move from one state to another from time to time. The office of the board came to be household in a rented building at Indraprastha Marg, New Delhi. The board continued to have its registered office at Ajmer, where it had constructed a well-designed building in the year 1935. On the merger of Delhi Board of Education Secondary with the CBSE in 1962, the headquarters of the board was shifted to New Delhi. Besides the higher secondary examination, Delhi scheme, the board also conducted the higher secondary multipurpose examination and higher secondary technical examinations, creating quality benchmark. In 1963 to 64, the board had 436 affiliated schools from 16 states and one union territory. It also included one school in Tehran, Iran. By now, the board has started carrying out administrative as well as academic inspection of affiliated schools. Teacher training programs, seminars in academic areas, and workshops were also included in the activities of the board. In 1965 to 66, the board introduced a one-year course in higher secondary examination for 4 schools for boys and 3 schools of girls in the Union Territory of Delhi. By 1967, 6 more Union territories joined the board. By 1970, 743 schools from all over the country constituted the CBSE family. It would be seen that the CBSE had been undergoing organic growth, shaping and reshaping itself in response to new realities in the field of education, educational ideas, and new local requirements. In 1975, the number of schools affiliated with CBSE crossed 1,000. The year 1977 witnessed the first all over India secondary school examination, and 1979, the All India Senior Secondary Certificate Examination in the year 1982. The CBSE developed a pioneer curriculum in computer education, which spelled the genesis of revolution in this field. Another important development during this period was the launching of the Sahoday movement. It was a unique movement that stressed on the need to develop by capitalizing on the strengths of the member institutions to grow and progress in the spirit of caring and sharing. In 1988, the board conducted the first All India pre-medical and pre-dental entrance examination in which 77,000 candidates registered. There were 157 exam centers in 26 states and URI's capitals. It was during this period that the board shared National Open School, which catered to the needs of the students who could not attend formal schools. The NIOS moved out of CBSE and became a full-fledged organization in 1989-90. The board had introduced a novel scheme of awarding merit certificates to candidates who figured in 0.1% of the score in each subject, dispensing with the practice of declaring toppers based on aggregate marks. The year 1989 is important in history of CBSE, started functioning from its high-rise building at Preet Vihar in Delhi. It was also in the year 1989 that a unique teacher-driven CBSE ELT project in collaboration with the British Council was launched, and the first examination in the new package was conducted in the year 1993 at the end of class 9, 10th, in keeping with the expectations of the new education policy in 1986 and also to further improve the quality of education. A comprehensive exercise was undertaken by the board in 1989 in collaboration with NCERT to review the syllabi and courses in various subjects. The year 1990 witnessed the introduction of a comprehensive certificate of achievement, that is COA, for the outgoing students. This was, in a way, the genesis of the continuous comprehensive school based evaluation, that is CCE. The board also introduced many vocational courses during this year. The number of affiliated schools crossed the 3,000 mark in the year 1990, and more significantly, many schools in foreign countries had been affiliated to the board. Another major program launched by the board in the year 1991 was the Spatial Adult Literacy Drive, that is SALD. The board embarked on a program of decentralizing its administration, and 6 regional offices at Delhi, Ajmer, Chandigarh, Allahabad, Chennai, and Guwahati came into existence. The year 1992 witnessed the introduction of multi-sets question paper in all the subjects in class 10 and class 12 examinations. In 1998, the board launched its flagship program, Telehelpline, for students to provide free of cost psychological counseling for developing positive coping mechanism to deal with the exam related stress. The competitive sports program for independent schools was also launched during 1998. Another major reform in the curricular revision was the introduction of frontline curriculum during 1999 to 2000, wherein 10% of the absolute syllabus was replaced with the new developments in the relevant subject. The provision of email and internet service for the students to access their results was a breakthrough achieved by the board in 2000. The board also set up an international cell for awarding international accreditation certificate in Indian language and culture for the people of Indian origin settled abroad. CBSE Teacher Award were instituted for the first time to acknowledge the contribution of teachers and principals. Special training program for principals empowerment in strategic leadership at IIM Ahmedabad were some of the new initiatives in the year 2001. The first All India Engineering Entrance Exam was successfully conducted by the board in May 2002. The year 2003 marks the year of Platinum Jubilee of the board, which was celebrated in the most befitting manner with the release of first day postal covers, film on the activities and the philosophy of the board. The celebrations were attended by the then Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who inaugurated the new academic wing of CBSE, Shiksha Sadan at Rose Avenue. Project Shikshanet was inaugurated by then Honorable Minister of Human Resource Development, Government of India, Dr. Murli Manohar Joshi, during the Platinum Jubilee year function. Disaster management curriculum and education in life skill were also launched in the year 2003. Adolescent Education program was introduced in 2005 under the directives of MHRD to address the needs of adolescents concerning their health, personality for holistic development. The new syllabi and the textbook prepared by NCERT accordance with NCF 2005 were undertaken. 6 satellite intensive terminals were allocated by CBSE by ISRO for facilitating an interactive distance-based education system through DTH in 2007. 2 more CBSE regional offices were set up in Patna and Bhubaneswar. For the first time in 2007, CBSE in collaboration with WHO India conducted a global school health survey, that is GSHS, in 75 affiliated schools of various types selected in random survey by CDS WHO Geneva. Towards a greener CBSE. In 2008-9, the CBSE annual report appeared in a refreshing digitalized format and was presented in the series also. Question papers on major subjects in 10th and 12th were redesigned on the basis of NCF with a paradigm shift from rote to skill learning under a new format. Two new elective subjects, heritage craft and graphics design, were introduced in class 11th. In 2009, continuous comprehensive evaluation, that is CCE, was introduced by the board as a new model of examination evaluation. CBSE students' Global Aptitude Index, perhaps the first ever psychometric test to be prepared by any education board in the country, was introduced to provide a scientific assessment of child's interest and aptitude. The test aimed to guide a class 10 student in selecting subject in plus 2 based on interest, aptitude, and motivation. The first edition was conducted across the world simultaneously on January 2011 for 2.12 candidates. The practice of declaring compartment failed discontinued for 2010 examination and for the first time, class 10th results were declared in grades. The statement of subject-wise performance was issued reflecting grade point, that is GP and CGPA. The first central teacher eligibility test, that is eligibility test CTET, was conducted in 2011 by the CBSE in accordance with the guidelines of NCTE for the determining eligibility for appointment as a teacher for class 1st to 8th. From the year 2012-13, CBSE started school quality assessment and accreditation to assess schools through standardized instruments and the process of internal self-evaluation and external assessment peer review. UGC National Eligibility Test was conducted by CBSE. 2014 UGC National Eligibility Test was conducted by CBSE. The test aimed to determine the eligibility of Indian nationals for GRF and assistant professorship. The Inclusive Education Cell was established to equip schools with a system that works in collaboration with the counseling authorities and eminent psychiatrists to ensure equal opportunities to persons with disabilities by sensitizing teachers through training. In year 2015 marks the initiation of several digital initiatives by the CBSE. For the first time, class 10th and 12th results for all the regions were declared together. The board examination certificate was also introduced using Global Document Type Identifier, that is GDTI. eCBSE was launched to provide books on various classes and subjects, including academic, vocational support material through a portal and mobile app, Saransh. Online facility for comprehensive self-review for schools was also introduced during this period. Another ambitious project by the name of UDAN was launched to provide guidance and training to deserving girl students from economically and disadvantaged backgrounds and to prepare them for the professional engineering entrance examination while studying in class 11 and 12. In 2016, the board witnessed further growth in digital initiatives undertaken with the intent improving the delivery system and contributing to the Digital India initiative of the Government of India. The online affiliated school information system, that is OASIS, was started, which consolidated the entire school information on a digital platform and could be used for several important activities such as fixing up exam centers, availability of infrastructure, academic and non-academic faculty. Exam center locator software was developed using the latitude and longitude information fetched by geotagging. Central academic repository for storage, access, and updating academic records of students by the name Parinam Manjusha was also made available to students through DigiLockers. During this year, CBSE also became the first board to partner with the Ministry of External Affairs in a landmark e-initiative called e-Sanat, which facilitates online attestation of academic documents of Indian students aspiring to go abroad for higher education or employment. Based on the feedback, while the ongoing CCE system was discontinued in 2017, the class 10th examination in the conventional board were restored in class 10th. Health and sports education were made compulsory in schools in classes 9th to 12th from 2018. The move of CBSE was well appreciated by the Master Blaster Sachin Tendulkar, who personally wrote to the board. CBSE also rescheduled exam for the students representing India at international sports events. A manual detailing sports guidelines for classes 11 to 12 and methodologies for implementing was also shared with all the schools to promote health and sports for all. The board opened its first Twitter and the Facebook accounts, while the YouTube account was activated as a part of outreach program and registered its digital presence for increased responsiveness to the topic. The affiliation bylaws were revised in 2018 for the ease of doing business with stakeholders. The highlight of 2019 was the Digital India Award for exemplary online service conferred on CBSE. The latest podcast platform CBSE Shikshavani has been launched to disseminate important information on academic training initiatives, examination, and much more in a timely, educative, lucid, and seamless manner. As a part of the exam reform process, CBSE conducted exams in 2019 with skill-based subjects in February and academic subjects in March 2019 to bring quality in evaluation and uniformity in the declaration of result. The community outreach program of providing psychological counseling, which began in 1998, has been broad-based to include many features such as using interactive voice response system for audio counseling, question answers columns in newspapers, multimedia educative materials on exam anxiety, depression, aggression, and other issues through YouTube, Twitter, and website. The board thus continues to march ahead with innovations, reforms, and positive initiatives with new thrust on the formation of hubs of learning for collaboration among affiliated schools for self-improvement and quality enhancement. The recent compendium of academic courses after plus two provides students and parents the much needed guidance on the traditional and new age courses, institutions, and eligibility for future preparation. Artificial intelligence, yoga, early childhood care have been introduced as skill subjects in class 10 and 12 to enhance and empower the learning capacity of students with ample sensitization in integrity and ethics modules cutting across all disciplines of teaching. This is the graph of CBSE growth from 1929 till 2018. This is the bar graph. See, Kendriya Vidyalaya 1123, government aided schools 2941, 15,684 independent school, then Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas 592 and Central Tibetan schools 14. This is the bar graph related to school affiliated with the CBSE as on 31st March 2018. For the smooth execution of its function, the board has set up regional offices in different parts of the country to be more responsive to the affiliated schools as under. In the 1990s, Ajmer, Allahabad, Chennai, Delhi, Guwahati, and Panchkula. These were the regional offices. 2008, Bhubaneswar, Patna, and 2014, Dehradun and Tiruvananthapuram. CBSE goes for further expansion with the 6 more new regional offices: Bangalore, Bhopal, Chhattisgarh, Delhi West, Noida, and Pune. Center of Excellence for Quality and the Capacity Building. The board had set up 13 centers of excellence as given here under to equip in service teachers of the affiliated schools with the latest update and strategies through various capacity building programs. In 2015, Raebareli, COE, Kakinada, COE Pune, COE Panchkula. 2008, Ajmer, Bhubaneswar, Allahabad, Chennai, Guwahati, Patna, Dehradun, and Tiruvananthapuram. More COEs. From the academic session 2019-20, the board will have 4 more COEs in Bangalore, Bhopal, Chandigarh, Delhi West, and Noida. Schools located outside India will be looked after by the regional office. This is the Hall of Fame. It is given 1929 to 1932. This is related to the secretaries of the board. And CBSE regional offices and headquarters. CBSE regional office, Panchkula. It is in Haryana. Regional office, Dehradun. Regional office, Delhi. Then regional office, Ajmer. Regional office, Prayagraj. Regional office, Patna. Regional office, Guwahati. Regional office, Tiruvananthapuram. Regional office, Bhubaneswar. Regional office, Chennai. Regional office, Bangalore. Regional office, Bhopal. Regional office, Delhi. Regional office, Noida. Regional office, Pune. Regional office, Chandigarh. Regional office, Vijaya. This is all about CBSE history. I hope all of you have understood it. Thank you. Thanks a lot for watching my channel. Keep updating yourself. Keep in touch. If you are new to my channel, please like and subscribe it. Thank you.